Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. Welcome. This is Watchman's Voice, Remnant and Martyrs. Watchman's Voice, Remnant and Martyrs. A message to Yashar'al, nation of believers. My name is Symmanayah, and if you're tuning in for the first time, you will come to know that Yashar'al, a nation of believers, of whom I reference, consists of all nations, kindreds, and tongues, who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father, the Almighty Creator Yahuah, and accept Yahusha as our Mashyach, our Messiah. For it is in Yahusha, our Messiah, that we are made one, both Hebrew and Goyim grafted together as one. These message in this series, Watchman's Voice, Remnant and Martyrs, is directed to those who would consider themselves to be a remnant of Yashar'al and martyrs of Yashar'al. Yes, my brothers and sisters, we are entering into some critical times. Yashar'al, commonly known by the world as Israel, will emerge. The true Yashar'al will emerge as an awakening nation in these final hours. And this segment, my brothers, today is November 1st, 2013. November 1st, 2013. In this segment, I want to address tribulation participants and the rise of evidence. Tribulation participants and the rise of evidence. Again, greeting my brothers and sisters. So it appears that we are at the gates of the implementation of the mark of the beast. Have you given thought to how you will respond? There will be no so-called pre-tribulation rapture. What you will witness is an emergence of true Yashar'al, a remnant guided to safety by the two witnesses of Revelation, and see evidence of the Almighty Father fulfill all that is promised. Now, some of you will and are wondering, how did I get that understanding regarding the two witnesses of Revelation? All I can say at this point is pray and watch. Proof will come with answers to those who will be pertinent. Proof will come to those who are pertinent to these last days and relative to the actions that are to come. Pray and watch, my brothers. Now, some of you may say this may seem unloving and or arrogant to respond like such. But why do you think it is necessary, if you are not part of the remnant or martyrs, to struggle with whether this is true or not? If you are to be a representative of the remnant of Yashar'al in these end and final hours, you will indeed come to discern these words to be true. Many of us are unaware of why we are experiencing the things that have come to be in our lives, but soon it will make sense. There will be tribulation participants, and there will be a rise in evidence in the coming foreseeable future, of which many will be amazed, shocked, and shaken. People, including family members who come to know the name of the Almighty Father Yahuah and Yahusha, our Mashyach, late will be among the remnant and martyrs, and will also face amazement and be shocked. Time will come to be one of the most trying and challenging tasks we've ever had to face. Yes, my brothers and sisters, we will see some things that occur that will let us know when and where we're to be. We will come to know and identify whether we are tribulation participants, and as the rise of evidence comes, let us prepare for how we would respond. Let's see if we can remotely imagine what will take place. And I'm not talking about a vain imagination. I'm talking about the ability to discern and receive vision from the Spirit of Yahusha regarding these last days. I have presented on many occasions what I am compelled to believe will happen in the coming foreseeable future. Is it possible that the Spirit of Yahusha can make alive these words and provide the vision of what's to come to each of us? Do you believe this is necessary in our preparation of end times? Do you believe that our Mashyach, our Messiah, believe it is necessary? What is the purpose of prophetic warnings and instructions? Do you think it is for mere entertainment? I pray, my brothers and sisters, that you do not become overtaken in unbelief and rebellion. We do not have time to waste. It is the season to walk in wisdom, especially towards those that are without. Let us redeem our remaining days with improved worship and obedience to the Most High Father Yahuah, through his sacrificed Son, Yahusha, our Mashyach, our Messiah, to whom the Father sent the set-apart Spirit in his name. Let's examine our ability to believe and or discern. Let us put these matters to prayer and pray and watch. Can we agree there will come a time when two witnesses mentioned in Revelation 11 chapter will set foot on this earth physically, if not already here, for the fulfillment of tribulation prophecies, end time prophecies, and their role in tribulation? No, I don't think we have seen them emerge, but could they be already on the planet? Time will tell. But can we agree that they will come? Can we agree that there will be a beast, an anti-Mashyach, and a false prophet that will emerge during the tribulation? Can we also agree a time will come when people must choose who to worship and prove it by taking the mark of the beast if they're going and following the enemy, or leaning into the righteous life provided by Yahusha our Mashyach? Will that time come where we will be faced to choose whom we will serve? Do we agree that no man will be able to buy or sell as stated in the scriptures during the tribulation period unless they receive this mark? Do scriptures foretell of famine, drought, pestilence, and disease in the last days before the return of our Mashyach, Yahusha? Is it highly possible that if these things hit with massive intensity, it can result in people desperately seeking food, fresh water, repellents for pestilence, and remedies for disease? Out of desperation, is it possible that people will be willing to become slaves to whomever they believe has food or water? They will be willing to betray anyone for the sake of food and water. Visit Genesis 47:19 and you'll find an answer to whether people are willing to give themselves to slavery for food or not. Is it highly possible that chaos, violence, civil unrest, economic collapse, turmoil, and other volatile actions may erupt as a result of these conditions? Yes, I've mentioned them before, my brothers and sisters. All too often, I ask you, are you getting the picture? Begin to research things with buzzwords like famine, food shortage, food supplies. Consider researching words regarding drought or fresh water. Add to your quest and search information regarding pestilence, bugs, viruses, diseases. And finish your quest with looking for information regarding outbreaks of new and old diseases. While doing your research, look for words like unprecedented, never before occurred, never seen, first time this has happened, and the like. For this will indicate, my brothers and sisters, that this is far from being just types and shadows. This is far from being false flag events. These conditions are emergent and they are real. Ask yourselves, are these parts of types and shadows and false flags? If you do not believe what I'm saying, pray and watch. Could these conditions represent the ushering in of the four individuals I mentioned regarding end time prophecies? In other words, are we witnessing the prelude to the tribulation period that is to begin? Has it already begun? Is the tribulation period 3.5 years, or will it be 7 years? We are just unaware at this time. One thing I will say for sure, if we witness the four key individuals mentioned in scriptures, the two witnesses, the anti-Mashyach, and the false prophet that are written in Revelation, if we truly see them become visible, there will probably be no doubt among the majority of believers. Now ask yourselves, how many will experience eyes opening and begin hearing? What will people, believers of all faith, including non-believers, begin to do once they see evidence of these four individuals present? Once they see the unveiling of these four individuals, will there be millions reacting and or scrambling, trying to decide what must be done? Tribulation participants in the rise of evidence will result in a very diverse group of people frantically acting and demonstrating many different emotions during these times. In some cases, we are witnessing the very tip of the iceberg right now as we approach proof, as we begin to see a rise in evidence that we are indeed approaching distressed times. Pray and watch. Things will intensify. Each of us will probably have a different perspective on what's intense. How close must the actions of end-time prophecies get? Do you think it's about waiting until it's in our city, our neighborhood, until conditions reach our block, right at our doorsteps? How many have asked the question of how much will it take for me to act? For you to act? Yashar'al will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. There will not be a situation where we are being mysteriously transported or teleported to a safe place. It will take some time to get Yashar'al to the designated places during the process of coming together. It will take some time to bring the remnant to the final location for safety. I urge each and every believer to come to grips that it will be a painstaking journey. Timing, structure, and order will prove to be critical. Discipline will be present. The Most High will prove whom He has chosen to lead Yashar'al in these times. Who has given thought to the various distance Yashar'al will be traveling? What methods will be used? What resources are necessary? Etc. I have seen a vision regarding these matters. Whether they are true remains to be proven. Nevertheless, what is most important is that we earnestly continue to seek the living guidance and instruction from the Spirit of Yahusha, our Mashyach, our Messiah. The remnant and martyrs of Yashar'al will begin to discover who they are and begin to receive more instructions in the coming future. I am compelled to believe some have probably envisioned their path and others are yet to discover what is to happen to them. There are many who are asking questions pertaining to their lives right now regarding why am I going through these situations. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the refining process, the perfecting of Yashar'al has begun. Many moons ago, many days ago, answers will begin to come for those who are diligently seeking to discern and understand for the sole purposes of worship and obedience. Those who are void of self-agendas, those who understand the priorities of worship and obedience. Do you think you are a participant in the remnant of Yashar'al, or you will be a martyr representing the reign of Yahusha? I suggest each and every one of us begin to have real discussions on our position and purpose in life, that we begin to share them with our loved ones and our perceived closest friends. Let them know our position, where we stand, where we intend to go. These are real conditions, and we will soon see tribulation participants and the rise of evidence. Are you ready? Let's take a peek at some scriptures. Amos 4 verses 6 through 12. And it reads as follows. And I also gave you cleanness of teeth in all your cities and lack of bread in all your places, but you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. And I also withheld rain from you 3 months before the harvest. Then I would send rain on one city and on another city. I would not send rain. One part was rained upon, and where it did not rain, the other part would dry up. Then 2 or 3 cities would wander to another city to drink water, but they were not satisfied. But you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuwah. I have smitten you with blight and with mildew. The creeping locust devoured your many gardens, and your vineyards, and your fig trees, and your olive trees, but you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuah. I have sent among you a plague in the way of Mitzrayim. I have slain your young men with a sword along with your captured horses. And I made the stench of your camps come up into your nostrils, but you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuah. I have overthrown some of you as Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And you were like a burning stick plucked from the burning, but you did not turn back to me, declares Yahuah. Therefore I am doing this to you, O Yashar'al, and because I do this to you, prepare to meet your Elohim, O Yashar'al. And let me read this. That was Amos 4th chapter, verses 6 to 12. Now I want to read Amos. I will read Amos 8th chapter, verse 11 and 12. See, days are coming, declares Master Yahuah, that I shall send a hunger in the land, not a hunger for bread, nor a thirst for water, but for hearing the words of Yahuah. Some translations use the word famine. I shall send a famine in the land, not of bread or water, but of hearing of the word. 12th verse. This is Amos 8. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north to east. They shall diligently search, seeking the word of Yahuah, but they shall not find it. My brothers and sisters, there are some prophecies that have been fulfilled, and there are those that will cycle again. In other words, we will witness similar situations with like outcomes. Pray and watch. It is, of course, up to you to seek and discern to understand what is true. I am compelled to believe we will witness conditions and events such as this in these last days, these end times. Let us also revisit Matthew 24, verses 4 through 8. And they read as follows. And Yahusha answered said to them, Take heed that no one leads you astray. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Mashyach, and they shall lead many astray. And you shall begin to hear of fightings and reports of fightings. See that you are not troubled, for these have to take place, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food, and deadly diseases, and earthquake in places, and all these are the beginning of birth pains. Now I ask you, my brothers and sisters, could these next verses, now that was Matthew 24, 4 through 8. Pray and watch. Are we entering into these times? Now let me ask you, could these next verses indicate Yashar'al, the remnant, will be taken to a safe place during the tribulation period? Let me read them to you. 1 Thessalonians 5, 9 through 11. Because Elohim did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master Yahusha, our Messiah, who died for us so that we, whether awake or asleep, should live together with him. Therefore encourage one another and build up one another, as indeed you do. I also want you to be mindful of 2 Thessalonians, that was 1 Thessalonians 5, 9 through 11. 2 Thessalonians 2, 7 said, For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, only until he who now restrains come out of the midst. And then the lawless one shall be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and bring to naught with the manifestation of his coming. That was 2 Thessalonians 2, 7 and 8. Could he who now restrains, when they say come out the midst, could that possibly be talking about Yashar'al being moved to a safe place before the lawless one is actually revealed? There are many interpretations regarding end time prophecies, more than I care to count. I understand that I am probably included in that pool, and so I am not remiss of such. I understand that one of the biggest challenges we will face is unbelief and rebellion, along with actions to discredit what is true. Unaware, we may find ourselves victim of such influence. All too often, I desire to discover the right course of action that will allow you to see what I am compelled to believe is a vision regarding what's to come. I know it's not about me and will always be necessary and fulfilled that all that must be revealed will be revealed and made alive by the Spirit of Yahusha. And I say to that, hallelujah, for this will remove and does remove burdens and bring comfort to me along this journey. As we come to a close, if this is your first time hearing one of the messages in this series entitled Watchman's Voice, Remnant and Martyrs, let me share with you the previous titles presented. The first title was about identity, race, and life. The second was about Discover the Spirit of Yahusha. The third was entitled Living Instructions and Guidance. The fourth, What's to Come. The fifth, When Rivers Bleed and Fire Fall. The sixth, What is Visible Now. Now we come to the conclusion of the seventh installment entitled Tribulation Participants and the Rise of Evidence. I ask you, as evidence began to increase, how much must we see? What must we see before we decide we are in the tribulation? In other words, when it does begin, when it begins, how much evidence do we need to see? Will it be the four individuals mentioned earlier, the two witnesses, the anti-Mashyach, and the false prophet? Will it be their emergence, the visibility of these four individuals? Will that be the evidence? And once they are emerged, how much evidence must we witness before we begin to decide how to seek and pursue the Most High, what we should be doing, what we should be talking about, where we should go, if to move at all? My brothers and sisters, I will continue to post and present messages as I believe I am persuaded by the Spirit of Yahusha, until such time as proven otherwise. Stay tuned as we venture more into critical messages for these last days, these end times. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. There will be many who will be overtaken by unbelief and rebellion, but the plan belongs to the Most High Father, and He will establish His people. He will keep all His promises made. Scriptures will be fulfilled. Be mindful of time. Be mindful of the clock as it continues to tick forward with no stopping what is to come. My prayer for Yashar'al is that we increase in worship and obedience, that our actions are reflective of obedient servants to the Spirit of Yahusha, and we thereby lift Him up, Yahusha, and witness Him draw all men to Himself, as it is written. My prayer is that we increase in discernment and come to understand what must be done in these coming days. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Until next time, my family, stay encouraged, and it will soon be over, and our Mashyach, our Messiah, will return. Until next time, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.